Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Playlist Podcast with me, your host, Jack Willard, joined as always by my co host, Gemma Roots.
Hi.
Hi, guys, hope everyone is doing well. So, this week on the show, we are joined by our very first special guest for this year on the Playlist Podcast. We are joined by Indian rapper Mandeep.
Hey guys, how you going?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Pretty excited.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Now, thanks. Like it's an opportunity, man. I made it possible, and thank you for accepting my invitation to be on the show. I hope I can say that.
Of course, of course. Thank you for reaching out to us. We much appreciate that. Absolutely. So, did you just want to briefly just introduce yourselves to the listeners, tell them a little bit about yourself and exactly what you do?
Yeah. So I'm a young man from India. Um, I'm outside the pack, moving in a different direction. Not because I couldn't fit in, I could, but I see a better way. Um, Intensely disciplined plus creative, and hence I got this opportunity to talk to you guys. And I'm a rapper, and I make music and share it with people, like-minded people. Yeah.
So, what made you want to get into music industry in the first place?
It's a long story, to be honest. Like, it will take a long time for me to tell, but I'll try to make it shorter. So I remember I was 5 or 6 years old, and my cousin he played "In the End" by Linkin Park to me, and I was just a little boy. But when I first heard that track, I was like, "This is something." I was like time was frozen or something like that. But then life goes on, and I was not that serious about music. No one in my family plays music or listens to the music. That's how Indian families are, most of them, and so then I got into cricket, and I was really passionate since the beginning. Like, I wanted to do something to make my parents proud and something different. Like, always in my class or whenever I'm hanging out with other kids, I always wanted to do something different. Like, I would see the guy who's leading the pack and other people who are praising that guy and why they are praising that guy, and I would go like, I want to do something different, but I want to get the same praises. Like, this guy is getting all this attention, but I want to get it too. So I would try all these different things like cricket, and then nobody around my town played soccer. Then from cricket, I would move to the soccer around 12 or 13 years of age. But all these years, when I was playing cricket or soccer, I always had music with me. Like, I would listen to the songs in my headphones while I'm playing, and without realizing that music is really important to me, this important to me. And then I would go into motorbike stunt riding when I was 17 or 18 years of age. And all that pressure from my family, like, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be a doctor, you got to stop playing soccer, you got to stop playing this motorbike stunt riding and stuff. And my neighbors would come to the house, and they would tell my parents, like, you are not raising your kid well because he's doing all these weird things with the motorbike, and you got to watch and you got to look after him and stuff like that. And one night I was having my meal, and every time, whenever I used to sit down for my lunch or dinner, my mother would start, kind of like yelling at me, like, hey, you gotta get your lives together, and it's not easy to get this food that you have, and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, okay. But one day it was really, really a lot. So in the night, in the winters, I just ran away from the house, and it was the beginning of the internet in my country, like in my small town. It was the first time we got internet, and for some reason, I don't know how, I had my cell phone and my earphones with me in my pocket, and I would hide behind the bushes in the park nearby, and my mother would, like, was looking for me, where is he, because I ran away from the house. And I was just watching the moon, uh, watching the clouds passing by, and listening to this track, Eminem, Till I Collapse. I don't know where I got that track in my phone from at that time, but listening to the track, I was like so pumped and so happy for some reason. I don't know why I was happy, but I was like, this is some real music, because the other music that I was listening to, like Indian music, all these rappers, they were rapping about the girls or the cars or how they are, like, better than other rappers. But when I heard Till I Collapse by Eminem, I was like, this is something real good because it inspired me and stuff like that. So I would rush back home into my room, and I listened to all the tracks by Eminem the following weeks and read the lyrics. And yeah, since that day, I was like, he inspired me. I read his life and all the things that he had been through. And look at me, like, at least I got good family who are looking after me. And, so yeah, from that point onwards, I started writing music inspired by Eminem.
But
Wow.
you're saying that you were inspired by Eminem. Is there
Yeah.
any other musicians that you aspire to?
Yeah, I mean, I got into music because of Eminem, but then Linkin Park, the track that I listened to a long time ago, that came across me while I was scrolling through YouTube or something, and I was like, this is really like musically, I was inspired by Linkin Park, and lyrically, I was inspired by Eminem and as an individual as well. And these days, I listen to a lot of hardcore hip hop, like underground, real, rap kind of stuff. So, um, like Winnie Paz and Flip Tricks from UK and Verb T, and we got Snack the Ripper, Classified. I'm inspired by these people. Yeah.
Awesome. I was looking through your Spotify actually, and on like your bio, it said that you've been compared to the likes of Eminem and Vinnie Paz. Like, how does that make you feel? Like that you're being compared to those people that you've grown up listening to?
Man, actually, recently, this production company from Springfield, Illinois, Moan Barrow Productions, they wrote article about me, and Brian Jones, the writer, he listened to my tracks, and I didn't tell him nothing, like who my influences are or stuff like that. He listened to my track, This Is My World, and he went on like, uh, it reminds us of Linkin Park and Fort Minor, and we need more of this music. So if I can, like, if my music can remind people who do I sound like without me telling them, that's like a mission accomplished for me. Like, cause when I was making that track, I was thinking like, these are my references on this track, and I want to sound like them. And I didn't tell him nothing, but he figured that out. So I was like, okay, well done, Mandy. The production was nice, and that's how he came to know that, I sound like these guys. I feel really great to answer your question, man. Like, yeah.
Phenomenal, phenomenal. Um, so you also you play some musical instruments yourself, don't you? You play
Yeah.
piano, right?
Yes, sir.
What made you get into? Oh, go on,
And a little
guys.
bit of
What made
guitar
you
as well. Sorry.
play guitar? Oh, nice,
Yeah,
nice.
a little bit of guitar,
What
not too much.
what made you get into like playing instruments as well?
Well, after my high school 12th grade, I wanted to learn how to make music because the people that I was surrounded by, not to say that in a negative way, but like the music that they were making was not the one that I was listening to. And everybody was telling me that you gotta rap in Hindi and you gotta rap about these other things that these other rappers are rapping about, because then you'll be famous. But I couldn't tell anybody like I'm doing it more than just being famous, and I couldn't go anywhere to get help on how to make music. So I was just like listening to these tracks, and I bought a keyboard and watching the YouTube videos like, how can I play some instruments and make my own music? So that's where I got into playing piano from, and learned these lessons like 135, the chord structures, the shortcuts. So yeah, from there on, I would start practicing and learning lessons, and I got better and better.
Yeah, I'd really like you play guitar, piano.
Yeah.
Um, it would you say it's quite hard to learn to play
Oh,
those
of
instruments?
course it is. Yes, it is. I mean, guitar, I don't play guitar that much because it hurts my fingers, you know. I've been
Yeah.
playing for a lot of years, but I'm not that dedicated to the guitar because I have soft fingers, I guess. and it hurts a lot. So that's why I would be like, oh, I can't play it anymore. I can't practice like other musicians say, but I can stretch my hands wider. So I think piano is good for me.
Mm.
It's
I mean,
it's really hard though. Yeah, it is
yeah,
really hard to. Yeah.
I learned guitar when I was at school, and
All
then
right.
I just gave it up. But I can play piano as long as I write the notes on the keys, then I
Mm-hmm.
can play it perfectly. But without the
And I think like it's mastering an instrument takes a lot of efforts,
mm,
but by like pulling something out of that instrument that satisfies your need, I
mm,
think I'm at that level. Like I can make it sound good
yeah,
and use it
I,
for my songs.
I can see your background. You've got such a good setup there.
Oh man, it's a lot of hard work. My parents, they like there was a lot of quarrel in the house when I was making this too. But yeah, I made it myself, like these soundproof panels. So I made the frame and I filled them up with the things that goes inside and this desk and everything. So yeah, I'm proud of it. Thank you for noticing that, Gemma.
It looks really nice.
So going, oh, go on.
Go on, then. You go, Jack.
Okay. So just going back to like your music, how often do you write songs, and like, could you describe what your overall creative process is like when you're making songs?
I write every day, Jack. Like I have a routine that I just figure out like from 6 months or so. And before that, I was practicing every day, but I was not getting the results. Why? Because I didn't have a fixed routine. I would be pissed and depressed every day. Like, even though I'm putting in the work, I'm not getting results. Why? So I came up with this book, Goals by Brian Tracy, and it explained this strategy. Like, you need to divide your day and you need to have a routine. So I came up with this beautiful routine that 3 hours a day I'm gonna do something creative, and 4 hours a day I'm gonna look into the marketing, and then 1.5 hour of the day I'm gonna learn a new skill, and then another 1.5 hour of the day I would be reading any book. So 3 hours every day I'm fully zoned out, making something new or working on the songs that I have from previous ones, like doing something creative. So I write almost every day, and my creative process, my writing process, it's no fixed rule. Sometimes I'm overwhelmed by emotions, so I would just write lyrics or come up with a melody. But most of the time, it's like you're showing up every day and you're trying to make something new. You have no clue what you're gonna make most of the days, but that's when the magic happens, I guess. Like when you're in your studio and you're just writing the melodies or writing the beats and then building from that.
Interesting, isn't it, Jack?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like being in
It's
that zone, that's
yeah.
unreal.
I can't believe you spent all day just on music. How do you relax at the end of the day?
Well, I don't think I need to relax, because if I don't do this work, then
Yeah.
I'm disturbed mentally. I
Mm.
feel like you didn't do nothing today, man. You're a loser, or you might not get your dream that you want, and that's why, like, to maintain that mental balance, I need to put in the work.
I respect that. Really respect that.
Oh, cheers, mate. Cheers.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Did you want to go next, Gemma? Because you had a question before.
Okay. So going to like the music scene in India, what's that like? Is it quite different from other countries or?
Uh, well, it's really different than other countries. We have Bollywood, the main act
Mm.
here. Like we don't have like the music industry, so as to say. We didn't have it, but we have it now, I guess. It's the starting of the music industry. We have a few rappers who rap about like the serious things that people should rap about. I mean, in my opinion, of course. And before that, well, I have a lot of things in my brain right now, so I'm gonna say all of them. I think the TV industry and the media industry and the music and movies, they move the culture And in India, why I felt separated was because everybody around me was into, like love. Like the guys were after girls, and the girls were like kind of doing like, oh, I'm not interested. So everybody was like, everything was about that. Like there was nothing about inspiration. There was no motivational track, and everybody was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like talk
Yeah.
about the girls and stuff like that. So that's the case with the music in India since the beginning of the time, or since I got my like, you know, judgment right. And now it's changing. Now people are writing more about their struggles and things that can inspire the younger generation from India, like these other countries. Like yeah, we do have in the US too, people rap about the girls and all that stuff too, but they also have good quality music that inspires people in general and mass population. But over here, the majority of songs that they used to write was about girls and love and stuff like that. So yeah, but it's changing now.
Awesome, awesome. 'Cause, yeah, your music is very honest and it's quite personal, isn't it?
Thank you. Yeah, it is personal.
That's what
Yeah.
I really like about it. Like your latest track, Psychiatrist.
Yes.
Like what inspired you to write that? Is there like a little backstory to that at all you could tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, there is a story to that, like any other song that I wrote. So I wrote Psychiatrist when I was recording my previous tracks, and it was a lot of work. I was in the studio like many hours and just recording vocals because in the studio it's just me by myself. Like I take care of the the production, and the like audio as an audio engineer, and I would be the artist as well. So it was really hard for me. I had to spend a lot of time. Plus, I was like a beginner at that time, and at that time I had a job at a burger shop. So I would work in the night, and during the day I would go to the uni and record my songs. And one night I was coming back home from the work, and I used to ride my push bike to the work and to my uni. And I had a flat tire that night. I had no money because we were having issues with the wages. Like the owner was not paying us on time, and my cell phone died, Jack. So I couldn't ask my friends for money too. So
Oh,
I had my push bike and this flat tire, and I'm 25 kilometers away from my home. And like there is no one that I could ask help for, and it's like night, so not many people on the street either. So all I had to do was like carry my push bike on my shoulder and just walk back home. So I walked back home, and I was thinking about the words even at that moment while I was walking back home. Like, how can I rhyme? How can I make it better? And when I was home, I told myself, like, you gotta go sleep. Like it's been many days. You're not sleeping, and the max that you're sleeping is like 3 to 4 hours a day. So if you don't sleep today and you had a long day, you had a hard day, you might lose your mental balance. And so I would lay down in the bed and looking at the ceiling in the darkness. I remember I always like have these personalities. Like everybody has these different personalities when you make a decision. You go like, okay, you should not do this because it's harmful for you. And then this other brain would say, you should do this because these are the benefits that you're going to get. And then there is this third person who's observing these two personalities, and he's going like, okay, you are the one who's going to make this decision. So there I was lying in the bed thinking about the words, and few hours later I would be like, man, you're going crazy. You got to stop thinking. And then this other brain would say, oh, it's a nice concept to write a song about. And that's where the psychiatrist came from. Like, you're going mental and you should write track about it.
sounds very
Yeah,
relatable,
that's.
actually.
Ah, really?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely reminds
You
me
have
of
sleep issues too?
every now and then stressful days at work, or
Yeah.
Gemma can relate back at uni.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think everyone can relate because people are working a lot, like a lot harder these days than they used to, I guess. Because everybody's chasing their dreams, man. It's super fantastic times we are living in. We
Hmm,
we can find inspiration everywhere.
Mm.
very,
Yeah.
very. Very true. And like I say, you come across as, from what you've been telling us, as someone that really, you set yourself a goal and you really achieve it. And I, like I said, I really respect that. Like, your hustle is incredible.
I try to, like, still I'm not sure what's the path looks like, like I have goals, I know I want to achieve them, but like I think there should be a fixed strategy, or you should know that your personality, and you should know like the ways you can achieve your goals and your own habits. But still I'm struggling to find like a fixed routine kind of stuff. Like, okay, I have goals, but every now and then I would get distracted and I don't know how to achieve them, and then again I push myself to, okay, you got to get back and you got to do it, but I waste time like that.
Oh, fair play, man. Fair play. So like, where do you hope to see yourself, like, with your music in, let's say, 5 years' time?
With my music, like, I can say I want to be famous and I want to see a lot of people listening to my track, which is true, I want. But more than that, what I want is like a studio somewhere far away in the fields, and I'm surrounded by creative people. I'm not saying that they are famous, but they should be creative and they should be dedicated and disciplined to what they want. And I just want to struggle, like, because that's where I find meaning and that's where I find purpose. When I'm struggling every day, like, even if I'm famous and big, I still want to be in the studio working long hours, making more music, reaching out to more people. And that's where I see myself in 5 years, surrounded by people working in the same industry and making more music.
That's a
Fair
really
play.
nice idea. I like that.
Thanks, Gemma.
How would I love to go and live somewhere in
Do-
the middle of nowhere?
it's gonna be hard where you're gonna get the groceries from. That's what my
Yeah,
mother
that's the
says.
problem.
Yeah.
To grow everything yourself.
But we are musicians. We think less about the groceries and more about the music.
Yeah. Um. So, what does music mean to you personally?
Oh, that's a tough one. Personally, like, I thought about it, like, music has been a great part of all the civilizations all over the world, and this has always been the case since the beginning of the time. So this has to be something really important if humanity invested so much time in it. And maybe that's why I was um, attracted to music in the first place. Because now I have a nephew. He's like few months old. Whenever he cry, I don't know if you guys know of that Om, the Indian thing, the word Om.
Yeah.
I would say that, and this guy would go just silent, and he would try, like, looks like he's falling asleep. So I think these are the frequencies playing with his brain, or I don't know what it is, but like, he do not even know what music is right now. And whenever I say this word, this guy goes shush. So I think it's really important that we have music in the civilization. But for me personally, music has always been a part of my life. Uh, Ever since I was a little child, playing all these games, and maybe that's where I was getting my inspiration from without knowing it. But now I don't think I can. I think I would lose my mental balance really this time if someone takes away music from me, because this is where I find peace now. Like, it's like when you're making music, you're giving birth to something new that was not on this planet before. When you're writing your own songs, and for me to be able to do that and share it with people who can relate to me, it's like a tool for me to connect with more people. So yeah, music is really important for me on a personal level.
Mm. I agree. I'm one of those that if I'm doing something, so if I'm planning the podcast, for instance, I have to be
Mhm.
listening to music. That's the
Yay,
only way I
yeah.
can concentrate.
It
I
sparks the
can't,
creativity.
yeah, I can't go a day without not listening to music. Even at work, we have the radio on all day. And when I'm on my lunch, I prefer to go on lunch by myself and just listen to music.
I can relate to that. You know, there's this Russian writer. I don't know how to say his name. Nietzsche, if you know, any of you know. No, all
No.
right. So he says that life without music is just a delusion. I still don't know what that means. I haven't cracked that statement, but it sounds good, and I'm gonna look into it. Life without music is delusion. What do you think? What it means?
Ooh,
We'll
it's
look
very
into it.
difficult, isn't it? We'll have to have a look,
Yeah.
won't we,
Yeah,
Jack?
I thought I need to have a drink to kind of answer that question.
Right.
Completely honest. It's unprofessional at that time, but yeah, yeah, yeah. No, quite an interesting question, that one. Yeah. But yeah, no, going back to the music thing, like even like walking down to the shop, I have to have music on. Like I hate walking without music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like that too.
Even if I'm with a
You
friend,
gotta
I'm just
go.
like, no, 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 but I'd rather listen to music.
Takes you in a
Right, no.
different zone, you know? Like you're in your zone,
Oh,
man, when you listen
I
to
don't know,
songs. Yeah.
literally. And it can really change your mood. If you've had, excuse my language, but if you've had a shit day,
Yep.
music can really just completely change your mood, can't it? You know, it really
True
can.
that. That's so
Does that
true,
help?
man. Yeah. Yeah.
Really does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
But
you Mhm. Sorry. No,
no,
sorry,
no,
man. I think it's the internet and connection. Like we are getting these responses with the time. I was just saying, like, yeah, if someone is even trying to hold their tears back when they are having a bad day or when they're in the bad situation, but if they listen to the sad music in that moment, they can't hold their tears back. They would cry for sure. Yeah.
I 100% relate to that, and I think anyone listening can agree to that 100%. Definitely.
Or when
Okay.
Chester
Oh, yeah.
again. Yeah, when Chester passed away, man, like I never cried even when I had like deaths in my family. But I grew up listening to Chester and when he passed away, I don't know what it was. Like during the day I didn't do nothing, but in the night I cried, man. Like I still miss him to this day. Like he had such a great voice and we don't have him anymore around us making more music, you know, like it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back and actually listen to their lyrics, especially
Yeah.
from Hybrid Theory, like my
Yeah,
lord,
man.
he was a genius. He really was.
True that. Oh,
Absolute
yeah,
genius.
this song From the Inside. Have you heard that? I think it's the guitar melody in the background of the song during the verses. Ooh, man, Jack, like that's the best song I ever heard on this planet, and I think it will ever be the best song for me. That
Yeah,
you should check it out. Like listen to that melody from the inside. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
man.
yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. I'll definitely do that. 100%.
Cheers.
Um, we'll give you a hot take question now because this is something we like to ask guests.
Hmm.
You could pick three artists to work with, any artist at all, and it can be ones that are no longer with us, unfortunately. Um,
Uh,
who would those three be?
well, Chester, first of all, and then I would go with Mike. Like, cause with Chester, I want to work on the production side of the music, like making music and mixing and mastering. With Mike, I want to co-produce the track. Like, I don't want to be the artist on that, but I want to co-produce it. And then I would want to be with. All right, give me a second. I guess Vinny Paz, and I wanna be the like the front man with him on a song like lyrically as a rapper, and I would let him do the production side. Yeah, so these three artists, Jack.
Fantastic, fantastic.
So have you had the opportunity yet to perform live in front
Yes,
of
I
others?
have. Yes, I have. When I was in Melbourne and over here too, we had like big fests and festivals where I performed in India. And over there in Melbourne, we used to have like these open mic nights and these freestyle ciphers. And I performed a little bit, but not too much. Like big shot. Nah, I wasn't that when it comes to performing.
Is that
So yeah.
something? Is it something that you would like to pursue? to do like a live show on your own, headline it?
That would be good, but not right now. Like I want to build a catalog of songs.
Mm.
Like I need to have a bunch of songs that I have, not for live performance, but in order to, like, I want to dig this creative part first, like making music and how you write songs. And I just want to be comfortable in this zone, and then I would move out to the live performance. Because I think when it comes to me performing live, I will be taking care of the sound as well. Like I don't want to be just the artist going on the stage and performing. I need things in my control. Like I want to give the listeners that experience, and how can they experience a different sound from me as compared to the other artists. And because I did this audio engineering and sound production and stuff like that, I'm a bachelor's of that, so I have these skills that I want to use. So when I think about live performance, I think it's going to be a lot of work for me
Mm.
to put in before I go on stage. So maybe that's why right now I'm keeping things just to the studio and releasing more music, and then I will look into that.
Got a solid plan.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Feels
sir, I
like
like
that.
that.
Feels like that.
No one's ever called me sir. I really like that. Thank you. Fair play. Fair play.
I'm not going to hear the end of this from Jack.
Oh, that caught me off guard.
Just being transparent as much as I can. That's what she said.
Oh, yeah. Told you we're not a PG show. Oh, damn. Love it. Well, it's been really great chatting to you. Really has been great chatting to you.
Oh man, I loved it. I love talking to people, and especially when I'm talking to creatives like you. Really, I can relate to you guys. Like it's the vibe. I think you guys are into different music genre, I guess.
Oh, you
Yeah,
couldn't be more right.
we're like different ends of the spectrum.
But it's so fun just talking to like-minded people, man. I love it. Like this moment right now. I don't have many friends, but like I think I have two friends right now, and I'm talking to you guys. I feel great.
Oh,
Now I
thanks.
can go and sleep. I'll have a better sleep tonight.
Oh.
It's good to hear. Well, if we ever come to India, we'll hit you up.
Please, man, please. I'll be there saving you from the cows on the street.
I will bear that in mind. I will hold it. Definitely now.
Cheers. Please do hit me up, man, whenever you come, please.
Absolutely. And vice versa if you ever come to the UK as
For
well.
sure, Jack. For sure. Yeah.
We're 2 hours from London, so not too far. Not too far.
If I'm coming to UK, I don't mind traveling 2 hours.
That sounds
Yeah.
perfect. That sounds perfect.
You fight off the cows, we'll fight off the seagulls for you.
I feel
Sure,
like
I
he's got
need
the bad end of the stick there, Gemma. Seagulls are nothing. Cows are nothing compared. No, seagulls are nothing compared to cows. Oh man.
No, I don't know that. I haven't faced any seagulls yet. We'll find out.
You'll
But
find
for
out very
sure,
quickly.
I won't be afraid. That's what I know about myself.
Oh, that's good. I can't promise the same about the cows and me because yeah, I might not end well.
Oh man.
Brilliant. Well, like I said, we're going to share your stuff on our socials and everything like that. But obviously, you're on Instagram, aren't you, and Twitter, and
Yes.
yeah, on all the socials, YouTube as well. You're on YouTube,
Yes, I do got YouTube.
YouTube as well.
I'm not sure
So
what's my username is. I guess it's Mandeep Music One or something like that. Yeah,
Mandeep Music One. So
one.
make sure you check out Mandeep. Okay, guys, definitely. He's on Spotify as well. Make sure you check him out. Definitely give his music a listen, especially his latest track, Psychiatrist. 100%.
Psychiatrist. Yeah, if you're going crazy, especially you need help.
You heard the man. Indeed.
Well, thanks
Okay,
for
well,
sharing my songs, man. Thank you for having me on the show, or thank you for accepting my request to be on the show. And really fun. And if you guys have time, we should talk often. Not on the podcast, like outside of it.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%. 100%. That sounds great.
Cheers.
That does sound
Yeah,
great.
that
And if
sounds good.
anyone else
Yeah.
wants in on this, just send us a message. But I need to open up the invitation there. People listening will feel like that's well rude. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. In the Place podcast, me, your host Jack Willard, Gemma Roots, and we've been joined by Mandy. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Take care and bye bye.